So what's up y'all, it's Izzy, and I'm gonna be a little low energy today because I'm trying to be more quiet, I suppose, I don't know. But this week's videos, I filmed them and they did not turn out how I wanted them to at all, so today we're gonna watch me plan out my bus in fast pace in the background as I talk about a few things in terms of designing your bus. The original video that I had filmed turned out nothing at all like I wanted it to turn out originally. I don't know what I was thinking when I was filming it, but I'm going to get on into the video and talk about a couple things that you may want to consider or that will be helpful when you're designing your bus. So first of all, disclaimer that I am designing my bus on my iPad through an app that's called Notability. There are a dozen different apps out there that you could use to design a bus if you had an iPad or a tablet. This is just one I feel comfortable with using. It's easy for me to use, and when I have an idea that I want to get out, I want to get it out then and there, and I don't want to be worried about trying to tackle and learn how a different system works. But you could use, of course, just regular old paper, and there's also a program for computers called SketchUp. I think it's Google SketchUp maybe. I'm not really sure how it works. I've dilly-daddled it with it a little bit, and it frustrates me, so I would rather have control over what I'm doing. If you would like to use Notability, like I said, maybe I didn't say that, but it is a free app, and they have so many different types of paper that you can use, different color papers, different lined paper. I personally like to use the graph paper, and I like to kind of scale like 1 block is equal to 1 foot because it just helps me visualize things a lot better, and it's just a lot easier for me to design when you're scaling things out. That way you're not having to measure everything. So even if you're doing it on paper, maybe that would be something you could consider. Okay, so on frame now I have my list of must-haves and my list of things not to forget, which reminds me to tell you all that this is probably a good thing to have on hand when you're designing your bus. So must-haves I talked about a couple weeks ago when I was talking about how you should choose what size bus you need, and the things not to forget, I listed 5 things you should not forget in your bus build last Monday. I also have my furniture listed here. Now quickly, I'm going to discuss this as I'm writing it out, but I talked about a couple weeks ago that I would tell you guys a little bit of a hack for figuring out or planning a bus before you get the bus, and that hack is that each window on the bus accounts for approximately 2.5 feet. So if you're looking at a listing for a bus and it doesn't tell you the length of the bus or the length of the interior of the bus so that you can get to designing, that's probably a good safeguard of measurement to account for. Now, not every window equals 2.5 feet, but for every window there is at least 2.5 feet in length on the body of the bus. Like, this is from the driver's seat back. And the generalized width of the bus is usually 7 foot 6 inches. That was the case in my bus, and I believe I looked it up and it said that it was the standard. Now, this horrible mess of scrambles that are about to pop up on the screen is me explaining the orientation of your campsite. So if you are considering staying at campgrounds a lot, or if you think you're going to be staying at campgrounds and stuff a lot, it's kind of a nice thing to know that your campsite is going to be on the passenger side of your bus. So you're going to step out to where your picnic area is and where you're expected to kind of have your area at a campsite per se. And then on the driver's side is where all your hookups and everything are going to be at, so that is really helpful information if you plan on staying at campgrounds and such a lot. If you're boondocking, this might not be that big of a deal, but it's usually standard within RVs and campers, and I notice a lot of schoolies, people put their utilities or their hookups on the driver's side. And in my particular case, when designing my bus, I kept in mind that when I was sitting down or when I was washing dishes or something, I wanted to be looking out on my actual campsite instead of perhaps looking out the back at my backyard area. And so that is mostly why I decided to put my kitchen on the passenger side and my couch on the driver's side. Now, moving on along with another tip, you probably want to try to keep all your plumbing on one side. As you can see here, I have designed my bus. You might not be able to tell because normally I would be talking over explaining what everything was as I was doing it, but the place I'm placing the trough for my bathroom is on the opposite side of the bus as my kitchen, so I have plumbing on 2 different sides of the bus, and when you're doing that, you're either going to have to run some sort of pipe underneath the bus or through your subfloor. And if you're trying to keep some sort of closed system inside to prevent your pipes from freezing up, maybe if you're going to be in a colder climate, you probably want to try to keep all your plumbing inside, and the easiest way to do that is to keep everything on one side. My reasoning for putting my bathroom on that side of the bus goes back to the entire like orientation of campsites and that they're on the passenger side, and I feel like you get more privacy in the bathroom if it's on the back side of your bus per se, on the driver's side. And plus, if you're going to be staying at a lot of campgrounds, you're probably going to stumble across ones with sewage hookups, and it's just a lot nicer to have everything contained on that side of the bus. So perhaps an easy solution here, in my case, to keep all the plumbing on one side of the bus would be to flip my kitchen and living area. But for me, like I've explained, I really wanted my couch on that side. It makes me feel more comfortable having my couch on that side, and so I just have to do a little extra work. So this is my final tip for all of you guys out there that are maybe at an impasse, like you're designing and you just can't make everything fit, or you're not really sure how to arrange everything. I think it's important that if you reach that point, take a step back, reevaluate, look at things, look at your must-have list, think about how you could rearrange things. So it might not even be something that you ideally could use, but just rearrange it in different ways and help get your creative juices flowing so that you're seeing it more clearly and you're not stuck focusing on one way and one way only. But of course, always do keep your preferences in mind. Like me, I was keeping my preferences in mind the entire time, and sometimes being quite stubborn about it. But, there's always space for you to come up with an idea, maybe for an innovative piece of furniture or an innovative way of orienting something that will give you more space, or that will allow you to just kind of have like the eureka moment where, okay, this is it, this is what I need, and this is what I want. And I don't think I mentioned it in this video, but I may have mentioned it in the furniture video that I filmed. That one's coming out tomorrow, I believe. But the first 1 or 2 people to comment like bus size and like number of people living in it and things that need to be included in it down below, if I like the idea, or maybe just like the first people to comment those ideas, I would like to design maybe 1, possibly 2 of those. So if you guys are looking for inspiration or you're at a stalemate, drop your design comments below. If I have the time coming up soon, because I am back in school, I will post those videos on some kind of Saturday in the near future. But for now, let's just go ahead and get to future me talking about how I walked through the different iterations of my designs and how this didn't just kind of happen overnight. It really took me a couple weeks of just guesswork and then actually seeing the bus in person and figuring out where like the wheel wells and everything were and how much space there actually was to come up with my final design. I'll go back and give you guys a look at like my iterations that I kind of walked through just now. So this was the original plan. Well, it wasn't probably the original, but this was the closest I got to the original, just to see if I could fit everything into the bus that I wanted to. And when I found out I did, then I just went ahead and was like, okay, if I can fit everything in the bus, then I'm okay to buy this bus. And then I decided that, okay, the bathroom probably needed to be flipped, and then I went to saying, okay, I need to put a smaller trough in the bathroom, and then I had this originally planned out. But then when I got to looking at the wheel wells and everything, I realized that wasn't going to work, and so this was my final iteration when I looked at the wheel wells and everything. And I decided that a guest space being the couch was not good enough just for me when I wanted to create space for my brother, and I created a single bed, a room for a single bed for him in the back. And I also put a litter box here up front. Now, when I was actually framing out the Skoolie, which you guys will see in a couple weeks, I did find some extra space that I didn't know I had, and I was able to do a couple extra things, so I will update you guys on that a little bit later. And there's my concept drawings. I'm not going to dive into those tonight because it'll take way too far long, and I'm sorry I'm sniffling. Like, this allergy spell just all of a sudden hit me, and no, it's not coronavirus because my eyes are watering and itching. But I hope this was helpful. I really do. But so if you guys have any questions, I spelled that wrong, questions, be sure to put those below and I will answer them as quickly as possible. And maybe soon will be a follow-up design video. Wouldn't that be jolly good? yeah, a bunch of stuff maybe possibly coming. And again, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate your time, and I hope that I am able to help you within that time. And if you would like to see more of me, don't forget to subscribe. I'm going to butcher all of this. I'm trying to write it so fast. And hit that notification bell. But if you don't like getting notifications like me, I post videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 5 o'clock with bonus videos on Thursday. And if I get out some of these design videos, they'll probably be Saturday bonus videos. So if you're interested, stay tuned. And without me further jabbering on and running your guys' ears off, yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.